Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I would love to have as many of you as possible to turn on your cameras and let me know if you can hear me clearly and you can see me clearly. So we still have people coming in. We've got 72 at this point. Okay, beautiful. How is everyone this morning? Give me one word to describe how your Sunday morning, early Sunday morning, late Sunday morning, and maybe even Saturday night is for you. Excited. I like that. I like the excitement. Who else? We've got joyful. We've got happy. Beautiful. Refresh, bliss. Love it. So while you're all thinking about how your morning started, I will drop in the worksheet for today. This is the English version. Okay. So please download the worksheet. You should be able to click on it and just download. Claudine says we are feeling the energy as we are 74 and counting today. I've got a tired, positive, blessed, purposeful morning, happy, relaxed, beautiful, joyful, chill and calm. Nice. Okay. So for the Chinese students, we do have a Chinese version, which I believe you should already have or who we will be sending to you. Wonderful. So thank you, everyone, for joining me today at the Self-Love Roadmap. Okay. So what I'm going to invite you to do is if you have any questions as we go along, please drop them in the chat. And A, who is assisting me today, will be sending them to me and making sure I answer all your questions. Just requesting you to drop that worksheet link a few times. And every time we have someone new come in, we're going to need to drop the worksheet link. Wow. I'm like all, repeating myself this morning, tripping over my words this morning. Okay, clear. Beautiful. So does everyone have the worksheet? Everyone able to access the worksheet? Just give me a thumbs up or raise your hand. Let me know you're good. Not yet. Okay. I'll give you guys a few more minutes. All right. So how am I feeling this morning? I'm feeling very excited. I've been wanting to do this since the start of the year, but it took me a couple of weeks to get my year started. And I'll tell you why in a couple of minutes when I get our presentation on. So this workshop is as much for all of you as it is for me, because I haven't done this exercise for myself yet, and I do it every year. Okay. Beautiful. So now looks like we've got worksheets being downloaded. Please make sure you're just dropping them in. Yeah, perfect. Thank you. So the link is in the chat. You simply have to go onto the link and you can download the worksheet. You can also do it later if you need to. I'll be having all the instructions on my slides. And what will also happen is you can grab a piece of paper, you can answer, on your own sheet of paper, transfer them later. There are different ways to do this. Beautiful. All right, I'll be getting the slides up in a moment. Hold on a second, you guys. I've got some technical. Hold on. There we go. All right, we're at about 85 people now. I'm expecting 100 or more. So the energy in this room is just going to be amazing. With all of you here with one singular goal for today, which is to focus on yourself. Okay, beautiful. So officially, welcome to Self-Love Roadmap. This is the workshop where we are going to be activating your vision for 2025. Now, how this workshop came about was every year in December, I tend to reflect over the year. Then I start planning what I'm going to do for the next year, what I want to change, how I'm going to close my year, what I'm going to, what my goals are going to be for the next year. And it's a process that had worked for me so well for the last couple of years since I started doing it. And I noticed that every year I got better at doing it. And I pretty much came up with my own process or system that seemed to really work. And I noticed about 2 years ago that I was able to set some pretty important goals for myself. And I was just knocking them out from the beginning of the year. And the goals that I was setting was not just in one area, but in every area of my life. And I remember starting my year like about 3 years ago being 2 years ago being like, this is just so amazing. And I was talking to a lot of students of mine and sharing to them that this is how my year has started. This is what I've done. And they're like, well, how are you doing this? What's your process? Tell me how you're doing this. We want to do the same thing too. And that is how the first Self-Love Roadmap workshop started. So I ran it for the first time last January, around the 20th. And the response was great. Everyone loved it. They loved the worksheet, and a lot of people shared with me how much it helped them get very clear about what they wanted to create for themselves in that year. Okay. So since last year, I've made this a commitment that every year I will do the Self-Love Roadmap for my students, my community, and anybody else who wants to join us. It's also a way of making sure I get this done, but also for me to share the experience with you and share, what are the different things that has worked for me. And, maybe just have you take that, run with it, and then tweak it as you need it for your own life. So who's ready for that? Give me a thumbs up, give me a heart. Let me know if you are ready to create a year where every day is a perfect day because you designed it that way. Ooh, I got some hearts, some love in the chat. Beautiful. Keep that coming. Thank you, Evelyn. I love all those hearts. Okay. Now, why do we do this in the beginning of the year instead of the middle of the year or the end of the year? I mean, we start the process. I start the process at the end of the year, but I find that most of the work really gets done in the beginning of the year. And this is because the new year it's kind of like a special time in our lives. We have this like new year energy that we're riding. It's like new beginnings energy. Everyone's got this excitement. We're starting the year. It's almost like a group consciousness where the new year is meant to be like a fresh start, a whole new opportunity, a blank slate. How you want your year to look starts at the beginning of the year. Okay. So there is this kind of energy. People are doing vision boards. People are doing goal setting, right? So everything is about starting fresh And that's why it's almost easier to make all your changes in the beginning of the year or to start new things in the beginning of the year. If you try to do it like midway through the year, there's so much going on in your life. There's a lot on your to-do list for many people. And so you're unable to kind of create the space or to set up things in your life to get all these like moving pieces working together or these different puzzle pieces, creating a big picture. I know that 2 years ago, I wanted to start doing Pilates. I was noticing that I was having kind of like neck issues from working on the computer all the time. And every now and then I would wake up with a stiff neck. And I knew it was because I was sitting on the computer for really long hours because of the kind of work I do. And so I, of course, did some healing work on myself. I worked on whatever was creating that, and it would go away. But it was pretty much chronic. It would show up every couple of months. So I knew I needed to do some form of exercise that was going to help me with my posture. It would balance or counteract all the long hours I was spending at the computer. So Pilates, I knew that this is what I wanted to do. So I did the research. I scheduled like trials with different Pilates studios, but they were already full. They had their clients. They weren't really giving me slots. One studio in particular said, we're full. We don't have any slots with trainers anymore. So, and I got busy as well. So I couldn't follow up. And I remember this was around like September, October, not last year, but the year before. And it never got done. So I reached the end of the year, never started Pilates, had to continue dealing with kind of that really tense neck and shoulders. But when I started the self-care roadmap in 2024 for the first time, I worked in a section called the self-care vision. And that's where I put my Pilates goals. And I started Pilates last January with a studio that I love. And honest to goodness, every week I go to Pilates twice a week. It's Wednesday and Friday. If I'm traveling, I will try to find another day in the week to do it, but I will do my Pilates. And I have been, so consistent over the year. I am so proud of myself, and I really credit this couple of hours that I spend in the beginning of the year deciding how I wanted to spend my year, how I wanted to, allocate my time across different aspects of my life. That's what worked for me. Last year, not only did I start Pilates, but I made yoga part of my life, not as regular as I would have liked to, but it did come into my life in a way that it hadn't before. I booked all my self-care appointments in the beginning of the year. I started a new morning routine, bedtime ritual. I reorganized my workspace, my home. I did medical tests that I was due in for. I got my daughter enrolled in ballet, and she's still doing ballet. I got my kids into Kumon and other classes, and I found a way to design my life so that I could meet all my goals. The most important was being able to do my work in a productive way without taking any time away from my family. Being able to spend as much time as possible with my family, which is something really, really important for me, and something, that I had been working on for a couple of years to get to a point where I feel like I have the right balance. So I did a lot in the beginning of 2024, and I was able to achieve everything by the end of the year. There were a couple of things I will say that I didn't make as much headway as I wanted to, but I got it started. And I think that's what really, really counts. Okay. So I'm going to be showing you today the exact process that helped me get a big picture vision of what I want. Okay. Hold on, I'm just enabling captions. I'm not allowing meeting notes, but I am enabling captions. All right. And we will have a recording. I'll let you know what we'll do with that at the end of today's workshop. But the goal is to give you the big picture vision. Okay. You need to see the whole picture and how everything ties together before you can actually implement it in your life successfully. So that is the goal, that today we're going to spend some time figuring out what you want and how it's going to all work together. You will make a plan for what you need to do to get these different parts of your life moving so you can start your year strong, implementing the routines and the action steps that you need to achieve your goals before the end of the year. Okay? So I know when you put this process to work, you'll feel like you're on fire, okay? That you're just getting things done. All right. And it's not going to be stressful. It's just going to feel really effortless and really natural. Okay. If you've just joined the meeting, we do have a worksheet link that I'm dropping into the chat. Please go ahead and download it. Now, I have a comment in the chat about. I'm also. Okay, can we just mute? There we go. I see a comment in the chat. I'm also learning yoga. It's so difficult. My body is suffering. So studies have shown that starting a new task, a new project, a new exercise routine, anything new that you're unfamiliar with, that your body is, unfamiliar with, takes the most effort. The most difficult part is getting started. Okay? And all you have to do is stay committed and be consistent. And it just gets easier and easier until it feels really natural. Okay. So one of the amazing things about the worksheet and today's workshop is you're going to set goals, and you might start doing some of these and it's going to feel uncomfortable and painful. And my body can't do this. And I don't want to wake up so early in the morning. But you're going to look back at this worksheet and you're going to say, I committed to this. This is part of my, my plan for the year. And you're going to stay committed. All right. So you just need to give yourself reminders. And I also have a couple of great ways that we're going to make sure that, you don't drop off when it comes to these goals, and that you stay consistent and committed. So for those of you who don't know me, hello, I'm Sanaya. So let me tell you a little bit about myself, because we are going to spend a couple of hours with each other now. I help women find their soulmates, improve their relationships, and create a life that is powered by self-love. So today's workshop is really grounded in self-love. I'm also a mom with 3 kids, all under the age of 9. My eldest is 9, my middle child is 7, and my youngest is 3.5. They all have so much energy. They all go, they go to different schools, 2 in one school, another in another school. And the amount of work I have, not only taking care of them as a mom, but also being there as a mom, which I want to be there for them. And I want to, watch all the important moments in their lives. I don't want to miss out on any of that. Those are things that are really important to me. And, all the other things, as many of you who are moms can relate to, taking care of your kids, the home, school stuff, and then there's my husband and work and the million other things going on in my life, right? These are things that as women, we tend to juggle, and we all want to do our best. We all want to feel good about all these different roles in our life. And sometimes it's not that easy. I remember when I had my 3rd child, I was struggling because I had, obviously, work was very busy at that time. And of course, I took time off after giving birth, and then, breastfeeding and so on. But there was so much stuff going on that I knew I couldn't live my life the way I was living it with just 2 kids and through the pandemic. I knew I needed some serious skills to manage 3 kids, to manage work, to be there for my husband and everything else. And so I went on this 6-month journey learning time management. And at the end of the 6 months, I actually wrote a course and a book. Well, not really a book. It's a mini book. Let's call it a mini book. I wrote a 50-page mini book on my relationship, our relationship with time, and how, the way we relate to time is all in our mind. It's not actually physical time. And that 6-month journey helped me learn the skills that I'm still using till today. This is why I think I do a pretty good job. I mean, I'm the one rating myself, but I think I do a pretty good job of managing all these different pieces. And I do think, you can be a woman and you can have everything. You can have the wonderful family, the career, the identity, the home. You can have everything. You just need to figure out how to plan and organize your life to make everything work. And so today's self-love roadmap is part of that plan. It's part of that process. It's part of, putting in the time so you can keep all these different aspects in your life in the right places and that you can manage them and give it all your time. All right? Now, those 6 months taught me that life is about planning. It's by design. Things don't just happen and work out. You have to design your life. So I've learned to design my life in advance, design my year in advance, and make sure that I create overlaps. I can actually, like the way I do my life, I'll give you an example. I get up in the morning. I aim to get up earlier than my kids so I can get stuff done. And usually I'm up by 4 or 5. I have some classes in the morning that I also take sometimes, or I take meetings. Then I drop my kids to school by 6:40, 6:45. I drop them to school. After I drop them to school, I go to a cafe near my kids' school. It's called Wildflower. They make the best almond cappuccinos that I love. So, and I have like my regular table now. I get to Wildflower by 7:15 after dropping the kids. I'm at Wildflower from 7:15 to 9:45. So I get a good 2.5 hours of work. And in those 2.5 hours, I'm using something called Parkinson's Law. So Parkinson's Law says that if you give yourself a deadline, like you give yourself limited time. So in my head, I know I have to get up and leave Wildflower by 9:45 because at 10 o'clock, I have a Pilates class. And the studio is like a 7-minute walk from Wildflower. And I need a couple of minutes to change my socks, go to the bathroom if I need to. All right. So from 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock, I do my Pilates routine. I have a trainer, so it's very efficient. I'm not in a group class. I'm with a trainer. So it's like 50 minutes of just really focused workout time. And in that time, because I'm not with anyone else, it's almost a meditative time. So it allows me to kind of just take a break from 2.5 hours of intense work. All right. By the way, I don't know if I finished telling you about Parkinson's Law. It says that if you limit your time and you give yourself a deadline, you'll be super efficient. And those 2.5 hours is the best work that I get done. So I do my most important work, the writing work, in those 2.5 hours in the morning. Okay. Then I take a break because usually after an hour and a half to 2.5 hours, you need a break. So what's my break? It's my workout, 50 minutes, 55 minutes of Pilates. Then after Pilates, I get picked up and I go and pick up my daughter from her school because she's done by 11:30. Pick her up, go back home, eat my lunch, shower at my table by about 12. Okay. And I take my clients from 12 to 4 or 12 to 5 p.m. Okay. Leaving me with just enough time to wrap up my day before the kids come home from school. Okay. So kids usually come home from school around 4:15, 4:30. They have after school activities and they like to go to the park. So they go straight to the park to play. They have their friends in the park. So by the time they get home, it's like 5:36, which is around the time they shower, we get ready to sit down to dinner. So my work is designed so I can spend as much time with my children, get my work done, and do my self-care. You see that? I just worked it all in, overlapped what I could, stacked them. And this is all because I'm able to plan and see the big picture. So that's an example of why this workshop really works. right? Okay, and I will share more stories as we continue. Just making sure the workshop link is dropped again. We've got a couple of more people that have come in, I only see 10 of you with videos on. I really invite more of you to turn on your videos if you can, just because every time I stop my share, I am looking at you. I'm looking at how you're taking things in, and I am adding or subtracting some of what I'm saying just based on whether something looks confusing for you or something seems to land well. So the more information you give me, the better this workshop is for all of us, because I am reading you. I am also picking up exactly what you need. And thank you, Raki. I totally feel you. 2 kids, your own ambitions, I feel you, but you can do it. I promise you, you can do it. Okay. There's a comment about where can we buy the mini book you've written. I actually have not made it available. I am doing one-on-one coaching for the time productivity. It's called Time Freedom, and I'll tell you about that a little later. But I have submitted the mini book to Theta Healing to become a Theta Healing class, so I can't share it yet with anybody. All right. Okay. So let me tell you a little bit about all the different roles I play. I don't know if that's going to make you feel better or worse. The goal is to make you feel better that I'm doing all these things without feeling guilty about any role, without feeling like I'm shortchanging anybody else. Okay. So I am the founder and owner of the Third Eye Wellness Centers. I first opened Dubai, and then that was in 2008. Then I opened Manila in 2011. 2012 was Manila. We opened one in Quezon City as well. But during the pandemic, we closed our physical centers in Manila and went virtual. So we pivoted into virtual well-being. Dubai Center was sold around 2017. So I actually now do not have any physical centers. And me and my team only work with people all over the world virtually. I'm the first certified practitioner and instructor of Theta Healing in the Philippines. I also am the country representative of Theta Healing for Philippines. So I host the courses with the instructors. I hold a certificate of science and master in Theta Healing. I'm also a certified clinical hypnotherapist, past life regressionist, Reiki practitioner, access bars, chronic healing. I hold a doctorate in alternative medicine. And I'm also a coach. So I would say if I were to identify myself, it's a relationship reinvention coach, mainly working with women, because I do believe love and self-love are two of the most important aspects of our life. I also have online courses and programs, group coaching. So I do a lot of different things. And then, of course, you all know about my 3 children, my husband. I have a house in Manila, and I also have a team for Third Eye Wellness that I manage, and also a team for Sanaya Gurnamal, which is where I do my coaching. And I forgot to mention, I'm the host of Project Loving Myself podcast. So I release a podcast every single week, right? So I've got teams in both different businesses, and I have parents in Dubai and a brother and sister-in-law with 2 kids who live in the US. So my life is very full with people. My life is very full with things to do. And my list, until I learned how to manage it, really looked so overwhelming. There were days I didn't even want to look at it. But today, I know how to manage my life. I know how to manage my time. And it's all in, it's all in the organization and planning. All right, moving on. So while we're here, I have one request for all of you, just to be here now, be present with me, give me your attention, at least for the next 2.5 hours. I expect we'll be, together for about 2.5 hours. Just give me all your attention. And this 2.5 hours will pay off with a roadmap to your entire 2025. That's like 365 days minus, 26 days of the year that I've already started. This roadmap that you're going to design is meant to come from a place of self-love and self-connection, and all on one, well, not really one sheet of paper, but a couple of sheets of paper that outline your action steps for every area of your life. We'll brainstorm, we'll create the vision together. We'll put it all on this worksheet. We'll set intentions for your year with a powerful meditation that we're going to activate together. Okay? Sounds good? Yeah? Sounds good, everyone? Give me a thumbs up. There's an icon below, which allows you to put like a thumbs up or a heart. So feel free to drop some thumbs ups or hearts either in chat or on your screen, so I know that this is all making sense. Okay? So I do invite you to close other tabs, put your phones on silent. You might get distracted and start scrolling. And don't forget, you can drop any questions that you have in the chat. All right? Close your eyes now. Let's take a deep breath in together. Breathe in through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Breathe in through your nose again and exhaling through your mouth. Deep exhales. And let's do one more, telling yourself to relax, telling yourself to focus and be present. Beautiful. Now take a moment, keeping your eyes closed. Just feel your body. Feel the energy in the room if you can. Just taking a couple of deep breaths should have grounded you. The quiet has just opened up more space, maybe in your mind, in your body, in your environment. It's so important just to stop, pause, take a moment, and just feel. Feel. And we're usually just go, go, go on autopilot. We forget to feel. We forget to direct our mind, to focus. Beautiful. Just thank yourself for being here today, for taking these couple of hours of your life, your very busy life. I know all of you are busy. But to take these hours to be here and to focus on what you want, on what's important to you, to focus on yourself. Sometimes we forget the most important person in our lives is ourselves. Because if you're not in a good place, if you're not happy, if you're not relaxed, if you're not calm, then your entire life is a mess. It's chaos. You can't be there for anybody else if you aren't there for yourself. So today we're all here for ourselves. So we can be better for the people we love. So we can show up as the best version of ourselves. Because when you're in a good place, everybody else can feel it. And you influence and you rub off on people in such positive ways just by being in such a good space. When you're happy, everyone feels your happiness and joy, and that uplifts them. When you're calm in chaos and panic, everybody else stays calm. Okay? So just thank yourself, acknowledge yourself, recognize yourself. Okay, good job. Good job, you. All right. I want you to very gently, very slowly start coming back to me. Okay. Let's talk about what we're going to do in the workshop. So I've already given you my introduction, and then we're going to go through the 6 sections reflect and reimagine. We'll create a self-care vision, relationship edit. We'll cover the 3 Ps, passion, purpose, and prosperity. Wealth, of course, goes into that section. Spread your wings. And finally, we'll end with your 2025 playbook. Then we'll go into some key takeaways from today. I'll answer any questions that you have. And finally, we will activate your vision together in this really powerful group meditation. Now, in the chat, you should have received a link to the workbook. I do recommend that once you download the worksheet, you write into it digitally. So you can actually select the boxes and just type right into it. It is editable. You can also print a copy for yourself if you have a printer. You can print a copy after you type into it, or you can just write things into your notebook, fill it in later if you'd like. Each of these 6 sections will focus on an important aspect of your life, and the workbook will serve as your companion, where you're going to do all the reflections and all the exercises that I've created for you. So the first thing I want to start with is self-love. This is called the self-love roadmap for a reason, right? So why do you think self-love is so important when it comes to this 2025 roadmap or plan or vision? So why do you think it's important? Tell me a little bit about what is self-love to you. Okay, what is it and why is it important? Go ahead and drop it in the chat, and I'd love to even call on a couple of you to share. So go ahead and type it into chat and then raise your hand if you'd like to share it in the group. What is self-love? Why is it important? We'll get a couple of these translations in. Know my feeling, care for my needs, says Sunny. Tina says, because loving my own perspective also allows me to look at others with a loving eye instead of being critical. Yes, absolutely, Tina. When you love yourself, you can love other people better. Self-love is looking after myself, filling my cup, says Lisa. So important to have a full cup, because if your cup is empty, you have nothing to give anyone. And that's when you start snapping at other people. You get annoyed and irritated because you have nothing to give. You're empty. You're exhausted. You're drained. Madhuri says, for me, self-love is knowing yourself. Absolutely. Knowing who you are and why you feel a certain way or why you want something. Okay. SP says, reminds us to prioritize ourselves too, because we're always taking care of other people, right? Claudine says, it's where it can all start, from ourselves, our goals, our plans, etc. For us, absolutely. Gina says, self-love is when you realize you are the creator of your life and the most important person is you. Beautiful. Rocky says, to love yourself means taking care of my needs that bring peace and joy to me, that fills my bucket. It's important because when I'm full with all the positive emotions, I will be able to love others. Beautiful. Self-love is the energy and ability to take care of ourselves in many aspects. Yeah. The first condition is to be able to live more comfortably. Yep. Like when you are in a good place, when you're stable, okay, then you can actually really help other people. Mina says, for me, self-love is important because it's the foundation of all the relationships I have with people around me, what I'll attract, how I can love others the best way. So last year I did this program called Self-Love Power. It was an entire, you could say it was a group coaching program. And some of my students are dropping these really profound, comments about self-love. I've got Mina, Evelyn, Claudine, and it's like, wow, I'm so proud of you guys because this is like you guys after self-love power. So I can see, how the word I'm looking for maybe is like how self-love has really become a very important aspect of your life and you really understand it. Anne says, I would be happier. The people around me would be happier. Xiaomi's phone says, if you love yourself first, you will love others. Beautiful. Accepting every aspect of yourself, taking care of yourself. Love it. All right. There's some really great shares in the chat. So please feel free to read them. Thank you, Huyi, for all your translations. So all of you have some pretty great ideas about self-love, but I am, for the purpose of the workshop, going to bring it all together into a couple of key definitions that I think will bring us all kind of on the same wavelength. Self-love to me is giving time to yourself and responding. This is the key part. Responding to your needs when and however you need it, and prioritizing what matters to you. Okay. A more formal definition would be a proper regard for and attention to one's own happiness or well-being. Maybe ask yourself, when was the last time I did that? Gave proper regard for and attention to my happiness and well-being. If you said, recently, yesterday, today, that would be great. If it's been a while, well, it's never too late, right, to start. So in today's workshop, we are focusing on what you want, on the things that will bring you happiness and create well-being for you, helping you design a life where every day can be your perfect day. If you do this workshop right, if you stay focused, if you, brainstorm with me, if you stay with me for the entire process, okay, you can create days where it feels like, wow, everything flowed. I got everything done. I did everything that's important to me. I got in my exercise. I ate well. I spent time with the people I love. I completed my tasks. I feel great. And I'm going to bed being like, that was a great day. Okay. And you can have that every day. You just need to create the conditions for you to have that day. That's not a fluke day. That's not a 1 in 100 type of a day. That day could happen every single day if you create a life that allows you to have that. Most people I know are just like, oh my God, there's so much to do. I can't get it done. You're running from one place to another. Oh my God, I forgot this. And oh my God, I have to do this. And the list gets longer every time I cross something off. People are stressed and burnt out and exhausted. Okay. But you can have days where you go to bed feeling like, wow, I did such a great job today. And I'm so excited for tomorrow. Okay. That's what brings me joy, is ending my day like that. And honestly, I wake up feeling like, I can't wait for today. Like I'm excited for all the amazing things I get to do in a day because I've created a life where the whole day feels wonderful, not routine and boring and just like I have to get things done. Okay. There's excitement and passion and purpose. And I want that for you. Okay. As much as I have it for myself. And there are a lot of key components that go into having perfect days like that every day. You need to have self-confidence. You need to hold a positive mindset. You need to constantly be focusing on personal growth because it's not always going to be rainbows and unicorns. You are going to have bad days and you're going to have to grow from them. You're going to have to ask yourself, well, what happened here? What do I need to shift or change? Is there something in my mindset? I lost my temper today with my kids or with my husband. I got irritated and annoyed and I didn't need to. Well, why? What was going on there? So there needs to be an element of constantly wanting to grow and learn and change and not blaming other people. If you're in a positive space with a positive mindset, you will attract positivity. And you need to build resilience because you won't get it right away. And it won't always be that easy. But you need to build those muscles, or in the case of resilience, those neural pathways in your brain. Okay. And these pathways in your brain get built when you repeat, when you stay resilient, when you practice resilience. It's practice makes perfect. You need to have healthy boundaries. You need to know how to say no to protect your time. Or like, let's say you have to go, like these things happen to me where I have a family dinner and I have to go to my cousin's house. And, there are lots of family present, but I have an early morning because I have Pilates or I'm dropping my kids, right? And I got to get up at 5. And at 10:30 or 10, I will say goodbye to everybody, even though everyone's around and they're like, come on, have a drink, have a glass of wine, hang out. And I'm like, you know what? I love you guys and I love being here, but I really need to get home because I'm dropping the kids tomorrow. And you know what? That's a great way to put down your boundaries when you say things like, it's for the kids. I have to drop my kids. They all feel bad, right? Because they all know like, oh yeah, the kids first, right? So I just tell all my aunts and all my family members, the kids, I have to drop the kids and they'll be so disappointed, right? So they're like, oh yeah, okay, go ahead. So, there are nice ways to put down your boundaries that will get you, other people's support and encouragement. All right. Sometimes it's not so comfortable to say it's for me. You'll get there, if you keep practicing, you'll get there. I do say things, I'm like one of those people, I don't have FOMO anymore and I do not succumb to peer pressure, right? Like if I have to get up, if I have to go to bed, I'm out, okay? And I've built those muscles to learn how to say no. And I say it in a very nice way. I wasn't so good at it in the beginning, okay? In the beginning, I remember my nose would come out like a little bit like angry, like, but no, I have, because I thought they're going to argue back with me. So I would get like really triggered and say no. But I've learned that that's in my head. All right. You can just say no in a very polite way, in a very nice way, a very gentle way. You can say no to other people. And it's just in the way. And I'll talk more about this. I feel like I'm getting ahead of myself. But another aspect of self-love is really learning to embrace imperfection and just being okay with not being so perfect all the time. Okay. I'm growing. I'm a work in progress. I'm getting there. Okay. I'm going to share a quote from one of my students in one of my programs. And she might even be here this morning. If you are, let me know. So this is Zai. And she said, I had this pattern where I do not accept myself for who I am and who I was. I got to learn a lot about myself with Sanaya's help on a deeper level. And because of these realizations, I learned to accept myself for who I am, the past me, the present me, and the future me. Okay. And I learned to love myself so much more than before. I feel lighter and happier now. I learned that I can show everyone my authentic self without the fear of getting hurt from being rejected. This program, and she was in Soulmate Magnet, but self-love is really kind of part of every program I do. Whether it's a self-love power or it's even like coaching, self-love is really the core of what I do. So she did Soulmate Magnet and she said it helped her change my perspective when it comes to viewing and loving myself. Because of this change, I feel happier and lighter now. That's a repeat. And it also helped me in my career. It made me feel more motivated to do my work. And I think it is because I feel happy every day. I want to spread my light, my knowledge and skills around me in the office. Okay. So it starts from within. And when you accept yourself and love yourself and you stop, reacting to the world around you, you become a happier and lighter person. And you actually bring light wherever you go, which changes everybody else's bad mood. Okay. And that is the goal, is to kind of, from the inside out, be the change in the world that we want to see and set a great example for people around us. But it's not just, what I'm saying or the testimonial. It's actually scientific as well. Self-love isn't just a warm feeling. It's a neurological phenomenon that actually shapes our thoughts, our actions, and well-being. So let me break that down for you so you can understand that what I'm saying is not just something that sounds good, it's scientifically proven. Okay. And I want you to understand how self love can actually influence your brain and your behavior. Because today we are going to be aiming to influence your behavior in a certain way. So let me tell you a little bit about the brain's reward system. When you practice self love, your brain's reward system lights up. It releases feel good chemicals like dopamine, which is a hormone, which actually makes you feel good about the positive behavior and it reinforces the behavior. Okay. So every time you do something that feels good, dopamine releases in your brain, which makes you feel good. And it's actually really good for your health too. It's good for your memory. It's good for your well being. Okay. Next.
I just feel like that next was
Okay. We also got neuroplasticity. Your brain is remarkably adaptable. What does that mean? Neuroplasticity means that your brain is constantly rewiring itself based on your experiences. So maybe you had a lot of bad experiences in your life, but if you constantly focus on positive, behavior, positive mindset, you work on yourself, you do things you love, those negative experiences will start to kind of almost diminish. They get you'll even like forget about them or they'll have a lesser influence in your life. Okay. You're constantly creating new behavior patterns, thought patterns. So if you're constantly getting angry, then you'll keep doing that. But if you decide that I'm going to stay calm and I'm going to breathe every time I feel annoyed or triggered, then you're actually teaching yourself to stay calm. And it's something that could become your new behavior pattern and overwrite the anger. So your brain can change and learn and, it can rewire from moment to moment. Okay. And it's very important to keep feeding your brain with positive behaviors and thoughts. So you're wiring your brain the right way. Next, we've got reducing stress. So self-love reduces your brain's stress response. It calms the nervous system. It calms specifically a part of your brain called the amygdala, which is your brain's alarm system. Okay, so when you get triggered, it's your amygdala. It's the part of your brain that starts to kind of get affected. So when you love yourself more, when you do actions that are grounded in self-love, it leads to less anxiety and better decision making. Boosting confidence, self-love enhances the prefrontal cortex of your brain. This brain region is responsible for all your decision making, your planning. It helps you regulate your emotions and contribute to increased confidence in your life. Improve self-perception. Self-love self-love influences your brain's self-perception area. What does that mean? You have a higher opinion or judgment of yourself when you love yourself more, right? You have a more positive self-image. You're kinder to yourself. You're more compassionate. You think of yourself in a higher way. You're more respectful. You're more loving. And finally, you've got empathy and connection. Self-love helps you be more empathic to other people because you're empathic to yourself. You have empathy with yourself. You're connecting with yourself. It also allows you to be more comfortable connecting with other people, being more vulnerable with them. Self-love activates the brain's mirror neurons, making it easier to connect with others on a deeper level. So what does this all mean? It means self-love is like a mental workout. We do physical workouts to build our muscle. Self-love is your mental muscle building. It strengthens your brain's positive pathways, and it basically removes, releases, rewrites the negative patterns that exist in your brain. So on your self-love journey, remember, you're not just transforming your emotions, you're rewiring your brain. okay, in a way that allows you to improve the quality of your life experience. You're leveling up, you're upgrading your life. That's what we're doing. Pretty cool, right? Okay. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah. Beautiful. All right. Gina says it means to create new positive patterns that we can rewrite your life. Absolutely. It all starts with your mind, right? So if you are rewiring your brain in a positive way, you'll create better life experiences. You'll respond better. You'll react better to your challenges, which will actually allow your challenges to disappear instead of creating more of it. Because when we resist, we fight, we create more conflict, it just gets worse. But if you respond with love, you can change things. All right? Beautiful. Okay. So now we're going to jump right into our worksheets. I hope you have your worksheets ready. In this first section of your workbook, I want you to take a moment to reflect on the past year. In the space in your worksheet, make a list of your achievements, your challenges, and the lessons you've learned from 2024. Be honest and open with yourself. This is your starting point for personal growth in 2025. All right, go ahead and do that. I'm going to screen share the worksheet in a second. So you should be here and reflect and reimagine achievements, challenges, lessons learned. And for those of you who want to just see me type it in, okay, you just type right into it. I'm going to put some gentle music. Volume okay of the music? You can't hear it? Can you hear it now? No? Okay. How about now? Still no? That's weird. Okay, well, continue writing and I will figure out the music. Still no sound, you guys? I think it's because my microphone is on. How about now? Still no. Yeah. Yes, now you hear it?
Now there's sound.
All right, come back to me. Right. I hope that gave you a little time to
to just think about the year. Okay. So what I wanted you to do is proudest accomplishments. And of course, you can continue to do this after the workshop. A lot of times these things come to you like a little bit later and you're like, oh, I also did this and I also did that. So feel free to continue to answer these questions even after the workshop. But you do want to spend a bit more time on the lessons learned, okay? Because we can't really move forward if we don't get closure. And closure comes when you learn something from it. If you don't understand why something happened or what you got out of it, it kind of stays open in our mind and it takes up space. So if you had any specific challenges in 2024, if you had some misunderstandings or things that, were disappointments, try and find the silver lining. Try and find, the positive that might have come out of it or how you might have grown and learned from that experience. Okay? I'm going to just grab a tissue, you guys. A second. There you go. All right. Good job. Any thoughts on that exercise? Did you guys get anything, like any realizations? Was there anything that came up that you didn't think about previously? Would anyone like to share? Was that exercise helpful to just kind of go over your year? Yeah? Okay. All right. Okay. Now I want you to take another minute and let's deepen the self-reflection. What were the most significant moments or events in 2024 that might have shaped your personal growth? Are there ways that you stepped out of your comfort zone during 2024? How did that impact you? What were your biggest strengths that helped you overcome your challenges? How can you leverage those strengths for 2025? Were there any recurring patterns or habits that held you back? How can you address them or change them moving forward? And what aspects of your life in 2024 brought you the most joy and fulfillment? How can you amplify this for 2025? Okay, I'm going to put the screen share back up. Actually, I'm going to put the worksheet up here. There we go. So you're going to be answering the questions now in self-reflection. All right, each of these questions. Go ahead and do that. And I aim to get the music working. We will figure it out.
We've just come in. I'm dropping the worksheet in the chat. Please download the worksheet. We're doing some exercises with the worksheets. Coming to a close in a minute or so. I have a beautiful share in the chat that I want to just read out for all of you. So Gina says, I got a remote offer and I decided to move to a new city. The most scary thing is I'm afraid I can't pass the probation period. And it really happened. However, it wasn't that bad because I got new opportunities and a really amazing holiday that I wouldn't be able to plan. I met a lot of friends who are theta healers and they live in another city. So I think that's the lesson from my higher self. Don't be afraid of changes. And even if it is the most scary thing that happened, it doesn't mean you are over. The universe is full of abundance. So are we. So we need to have the mindset of abundance. So what if I lose this opportunity? I will get a better opportunity. Beautiful. Well done. Okay, I'm just fixing my screen share. And I do have now Sari helping me with music. So hopefully I'll get this back for you for the next question. All right, guys, well done. Let me know in the chat if there was any aha moments there. Okay, like Gina, do share. Beautiful. I can see Bianca dropping it in. Okay. All right. So we're going to move on to the next section, which is forgive, let go, and bring forward. Here, I want you to take a moment to explore any lingering negative emotions or situations from the past year. In your worksheet, you're going to jot down anything that needs forgiveness, letting go. By releasing these burdens, you're going to make more space for what you want in 2025. So it's important to create more space. And that's the goal for this section. So identify any people, events, or situations that you need to let go of, that you need to forgive. So one of the things that I let go of in 2023 was working late at night because I was more tired. I wouldn't wake up as early. I wouldn't feel as fresh. So last year, 2024, I decided to forgive myself for overworking, for burning out a little bit. And I committed to working less at night. I didn't commit to no working at night because I do work with different time zones. So I knew that would be impossible. But I did commit to working less. And I decided that I wanted to take more time to rest at night so I could feed my energy. And I did pretty well. I did pretty well last year. So it could be something like that, or it could be a person, an event, a situation. Okay. Maybe there are some relationships in your life that were not balanced, that was taking too much out of you. So go ahead and answer those questions. Raki, to answer your question, the session is supposed to be 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. So that's 3 hours. We're about halfway through at this point. Yeah, but I expect we should wrap up by about 12:30. So that's 2.5 hours from starting point. But give me those extra 30 minutes just in case. All right, go ahead and answer your questions. Sorry, I'm going to stop screen sharing. Let me know if you can share music. Okay. And actually, while she's doing that, I'm going to go ahead and give you the next question as well. So as you work on what you need to let go, I want you to also reflect after that on any strengths and qualities that you want to carry forward into 2025. These are your superpowers, right? And this is the foundation of your personal growth journey. So list any strengths or qualities that you want to emphasize or develop in the coming year. For example, for me, I learned to completely disconnect on holidays. And I learned that holidays are just rest time for me. They're not working time. And I've taken 2 holidays since with family, and I don't work. I really don't work. So my creative juices are exploding when I come back to work. All right, so go ahead and answer both those questions. I hear the music now. Sorry, can you just drop it down a little bit? Or maybe that's my volume. Okay, looks good. Thank you. My team to my rescue. We've got A and Sari, so very lucky. Go ahead, you guys. Another 30 seconds. Okay, come back to me.
You did it. You completed this section.
Which was the reflect and reimagine. Hold on a second. My video seems to have turned off. 1 second. Oh, today I'm really having all these interesting technical stuff going on. There, I'm back. Okay, beautiful. So if you're making any comments in the chat, I am also replying and just sharing some of my thoughts. So feel free to do that. So we move on now to the self-care vision, which is a really important aspect of the year for you. Someone said to me in one of my podcast interviews, he said, self-care is not selfish, it's self-full. So I remember that mantra in my head, and I do share it with a lot of people. So I wanted to share it with you. I've learned in my own life that when you have self-care rituals and systems in place, then no matter how busy life gets or how challenging it gets, you can stay grounded and centered as long as you put in these different rituals in place. So think back to your life. How has self-care been a lifeline for you during challenging times, or help you stay centered and positive when you were facing something really difficult? So think about those times. Go ahead and answer that in your workbook so you can remember how self-care can actually help you. To give you an example, I'll share what happened with me. About 2 years ago, I started to notice that I was just getting burned out. And so one of the things that I started to do last year was get regular massages every other week. So it started with every 2 weeks, I'd get a massage, but now every Sunday, I get a massage therapist. Of course, here in Manila, it's easy for us. We have access to this, but I have someone who comes in every Sunday who massages my kids, because my boys both do a lot of basketball. So one is like massaging my kids. I get a massage. My husband gets a massage. Every Sunday, self-care Sunday. And that helps me start Monday just feeling so much more relaxed and comfortable. It helps also prepare my body for workouts, because I also learned last year that recovery is just as important as exercise. And I was doing a lot of exercise without enough recovery. So what is that? That self-care action that has helped you in the past. Self-care has never been something I've been great at, and it did take a toll on my body. I sacrificed it thinking other things are more important. But then I learned, self-care is what helps me be in a good state to do those other things. So start with self-care. So the thing about self-care is it's often the last on your list, which is why you need to schedule your self-care. It needs to already be part of your lifestyle so that you don't keep pushing it away when things get really hectic or busy. So in this section, we're going to prioritize your self-care needs. We're going to plan it out so you know what it's going to look like. We're going to create personalized morning and bedtime rituals that will help you wake up and go to bed in a much more calming and in a way that kind of aligns with your body and mind. All right? So we'll start by crafting your self-care vision. Think about what self-care practices that you want to focus on for this year. What do you think can help you? Is it a massage? Is it skincare? Is it bubble baths? We're talking about just self-care at this moment. So describe to yourself your ideal self-care routine for 2025. What activities or practices do you want to include? And I want you to set very specific goals. So go ahead and go to your workbook and work on that. You can put on the music. Oh, I need to stop share. There we go. Go ahead, sorry. So part of self-care is really about optimizing well-being. Okay, so morning and bedtime rituals can set the tone for your entire day and also make sure you get enough rest. So we want to create some rituals that will help you wind down or wake up. So in your worksheet, you have some space that I've provided so you can design something that feels right to you for morning and bedtime rituals. But I'm going to give you some ideas. So morning routines are about waking yourself up, right? So you want a routine that starts slow and builds up. So what I do is I wake up and I go to the sunlight, right? I don't want to look at my phone's LED screen because that's not natural light. So I go straight to my bathroom or my balcony and I allow the first light to be sunlight. I do this because I want the natural light to tell my pineal gland, which is a part of my brain, that it's morning and it's time to wake up. Okay. Then I will drink water with lemon. I do my meditation or I write in my journal, and then I get started on my day. I usually do all my writing first because that is when my brain is at peak functionality. So you always want to do your most important tasks in the morning because your brain has just woken up and it's at like peak performance. So what activities or practices are you going to put into your morning routine? You know, are you going to have like a healthy snack? Are you going to do some exercise? Are you going to do some breathing techniques or journaling? So decluttering, Evelyn has a question. Is decluttering part of self-care? It could be, but I would probably put decluttering as an action step. Yeah, I guess it's different for everyone. I'm just thinking like for me, it would be in purpose, passion, and prosperity because decluttering allows you to kind of create more space for things to flow in. You can put it here as self-care because maybe like the clutter doesn't allow you to feel relaxed. Yeah, go ahead. The next one I want to talk about is bedtime routines. So bedtime is the other way around, right? Now you're calming your body and you're slowing your body down. So what I do is I start by turning the lights down. So around like 5:30 to 6, the lights in our house start to go down. All right. The curtains get closed by 6 p.m. Music gets turned down in volume. I take a shower when I feel I need to relax more or wash off the energy of the day. I climb into bed. I have like a dandelion root tea, which is like my digestion tea. So I get into bed, I have my digestion tea. Then I either read or I watch something that I can learn from, like a training, or I catch up on something that I need to do, like maybe something that was pending from the day. And then I go off to bed. So I have kind of like a ritual that I follow every single day. Some people do like a foot soak. That can be really relaxing. Some people do the shower. Some people prepare their day, which is actually a really good thing to do. So what are the calming rituals that you will include in your bedtime routine? Are you going to put some like lavender scent in your room? You could do essential oils. You know, are you going to put some light music? What will you do to tell your body it's time to slow it down? It's time to get ready for bed. So you could do classical music. You could, as I said, put on your aromatherapy. What is going to help you relax and cue your body for sleep? All right, so I'm going to give you a couple of minutes to do that. For those of you who are healers, like theta healers, one thing you might want to include in your bedtime routine is belief work. So before I go to bed at night, what I do is I clear my energy, I release radiation, I download unconditional love. You could do that in the morning or at night. There's some great examples in the chat. Good job. Okay, we're going to move on now to setting personal health goals. So part of this section for self-care is health, right? So what are the health goals you have for yourself this year? Are there any checkups you need to do? Are there any, preventive health actions you need to take? Okay. So if you've just come into the workshop, please go ahead and download the worksheet in the chat. So what exercise routine maybe do you want to add into your life? I mentioned how I noticed, the neck strain, the back pain that caused me to start Pilates. That was 2024. For 2025, I've been reading that a lot of us think that we start to gain weight as we get older because our metabolism slows down. But I follow someone called, I follow two people, Dr. Mark Hyman and Dave Asprey. So I follow both these, I would say, experts on health on Instagram. And something that I've been reading about and has come up in their posts as well is that it's not really that our metabolism slows down. It's more that we lose muscle mass as we age. And it's the muscle mass that we lose that converts into fat that makes it harder for us to lose weight. So I realized that I'm doing Pilates and I swim and I do other things, but maybe I need to go back to a little bit more like weightlifting. So that's maybe something that's missing for me this year. So in my goals for 2025, I'm going to build in more weights as, as something I want to work on to make sure that I keep myself healthy. And building muscles actually help us in many different ways. So in 2024, in the beginning of the year, I also found that my weekends were super hectic. So that's where I decided to add yoga. And we were doing yoga, me and my husband, like every Sunday. But we kind of phased out of that towards the end of the year because I started doing a little bit more like HIIT workouts and he started taking on pickleball. So things might change, and that's okay to allow, your goals to shift as you need it. But it's important to set them so you have something to actually, start with. Another thing that I did for 2024, now I brought more of it into 2025, is bringing more fasting into my lifestyle. So again, something that I learned from some of these people I follow, that fasting puts your body in a state called autophagy, which is really good for recovery, really good for cholesterol. There's so many different health benefits of fasting. So I've actually started the year doing a little bit of fasting. I learned a few things from things I'd read and events that I had attended. So you want to get clear on what you want your body to look like or how you want it to feel. What are your weight or health goals, your nutrition goals? And this is the section to do that. Are there any checkups that you needed to do? So last year I was due in for my pap smear. I was due in for my breast ultrasound. So these are things that I put in this section so that I remembered that I need to get these done. Okay. You may also have some preventive or alternative health treatment plans. So I wanted to do tests like checking my vitamin and mineral levels to spot any deficiencies. I wanted to try out some of the IV drips. So the IV drips, I actually didn't put it on my plan last year. I just kept thinking about it. And as I told you, I really didn't even get one done because I started to think about it and plan it in the middle of the year or towards the end of the year. So I did not get a single one of these done, but I'm putting it at the beginning of the year for 2025 that I do want to try out some of these like vitamin C drips or some other drips that are really good for like NAD, I think is the other one that I wanted to try. So identify what you want to pay attention to, and you will actually start to pull it into your reality. That's actually the law of attraction and how it works. We also have something called the reticular activation system, which when you put your intention or thought on something, you'll actually see the opportunities so that you can take them. So it's important to take the time to ask yourself this question and make choices of what you want, because then your brain will do the rest of the work. That's how you create it. So take this time to start answering the questions in this section. I've included some accounts you may want to follow on Instagram. I added Dr. Stacy Sims. That was Evelyn's recommendation in the chat. But people I follow, Dr. Mark Hyman, Dr. Mindy Pelz, and Dave Asprey. Sometimes we don't ask for help or feel comfortable receiving help, and that's usually just a mindset block. So if you do feel like you need to do everything on your own, I do recommend working through that with theta healing. Okay, let me know if that was enough time. Does anyone need more time? You guys good? Give me a thumbs up or something. Good to move on? Pace is okay, everyone? Yeah? Okay, great. I don't want to have this workshop be longer than I planned. All right. And of course, you can continue to fill this out even after the workshop's over, right? So good job, you guys. You're on the right path. You've got this. We're moving on now to relationship edit. I got this from, there was a Netflix show that I was watching for a while. It was called, was it Home Edit? Anyone watch it? Home Edit, where you basically like redo your home. And I was like, we need a relationship edit in our lives sometimes, right? So you need to clean up your closet, but you also need to clean up your friendships and who you surround yourself with. So this section is really about evaluating, are you in the right relationship? Are you surrounded by friends who uplift you and support you? Or are you constantly feeling attacked and need to defend yourself? Can you trust the people in your lives? How's the relationship with the people you live with? Maybe your parents, your relatives, right? What's going on? We're going to assess. I want to make a special note of toxic relationships. A lot of us are in toxic relationships and we don't even realize that. So I want you to take this time to identify any toxic relationships that you might have in your life. This is where you don't feel safe. You don't feel respected. You don't feel valued. And we're going to brainstorm some ways that you can set healthier boundaries in these relationships. Your inner circle. So the inner circle is basically a term to describe the people you spend most of your time with, your tight-knit group of people. So do you have the right people there in your inner circle? So you can start by identifying the positive and supportive people in your life, like the people you can really count on. Who are they? And what makes those relationships so special, so beautiful? Okay. And then what if, for example, if you notice that the kind of people in your life that you can count on are low maintenance people. Like this is one thing I've learned is what makes a good friend for me is a friend who doesn't feel insecure, right? Doesn't need validation. Like that to me is a good friend. Like someone who knows I'm close to them and I know they're close to me, but we don't necessarily have to talk all the time. We don't necessarily have to do things for each other. We're not like, there's no obligations, but like if they need me or I need them, we're there for each other, no questions asked. So those are, I call like low maintenance friends. And that to me is like what I really value because I know they're busy and I'm busy and I don't want the stress of, or the burden of like, constantly having to check in on someone or so on, especially because I check in on clients all the time, right? I have people messaging me all the time, whether they're my students or my clients. And I feel very committed to the role of encouraging and supporting my students, which means I don't have the capacity to do that for friends or even family. But I also trust that when I need to be there for someone, I will know. So like the other night I was sleeping in bed and I got this kind of inspiration that I need to send a message to one of my aunts and just say hello. And I did. The next day I was like, just checking in on you. I've been missing you. The kids have been missing you. Come and see us anytime. And just that one message gave her so much joy and happiness, but it really came from my heart, right? Not because I feel I need to do it because it's the right thing to do. And I think it came at a time that she needed to hear that. Right? So I know that the kind of people that I really like respect and feel good with are these kind of people who are already like, confident, self-reliant people. So do you need more people like that? Do you want to bring in, what are the qualities? What are the attributes that are already working for you with the kind of people in your life? How can you bring more of these people in? Okay. What do you need to look for? What do you need to let go of? Right? So take the time to just work on this now. I'll just go up to that. Just a note, you guys, if the answers to these questions in the worksheet come easily to you, it's a sign you know yourself pretty well. If you really, really have to think and come up with something, it's a sign that you probably want to spend more time getting to know yourself because you've probably never asked yourself these questions. Okay? Okay, moving on to the next set of questions. And this is actually perfect because Evelyn was dropping a question. She says, Sanaya, what if the issues and challenges are the ones that have been repeating in recent years? Okay. And I told her it just means that you haven't really figured that one out yet. You haven't cracked the code. And so in this section, in inner work, I want you to take a look at where do you feel you need to do some inner work? Are there patterns in your life that are repeating that you want to change? Because it starts with first recognizing the problem, recognizing the thing you want to change. Then you set the intention to do so. Then the opportunity comes. I'll give you an example. Last year, I told myself I'm going to do more social media work and be more visible and more reach. And I had to work over the course of the year because it wasn't something that comes so naturally to me. I always feel like I have so much going on in my life than to take time to, do a reel or stuff. And I was making it so complicated and difficult. And this year I said, okay, enough, flapping around and dilly-dallying and delaying, procrastinating. It's just, this is the year I'm going to do it. All right, this is the year. And I'm committing to it in the self-love roadmap. I'm going to go all out on social media. All right, I'm going to go all out with my message. And I'm just going to go, like 10 steps ahead. Now, I wanted to do that. So I'm sitting with one of my mastermind pod mates, like someone I'm in a program with, and we're just chatting. And she started talking about doing reels and how she just like walks around the house with her phone. She's 65 years old, by the way. She's a 65-year-old divorce coach, a high conflict divorce coach who lives in New York City. And she's like, Sanaya, I just, put on my reel and then I just change my shirts a couple of times and I just walk around my house at different places and I just talk. And I'm like, wow, it sounds so easy for you. And she's like, yeah, and she's like, and I've learned now just to be really vulnerable and so on. And I'm like, wow, like I find that really hard because I can be as vulnerable as I want with my students and my clients. Like I can tell you guys my deepest, darkest secrets. And you guys who've been in classes and, workshops with me, I tell you everything, right? No hold barred. But I feel like I can't just go on social media and talk about my life or myself. I feel like I need to, sort of look like I've got it all together. And so when you want to look like you've got it all together, you can't be as vulnerable as you want to, right? And even like when I go on social media, I'll put a little bit of makeup, I'll get my camera on, it's just a little bit more formal for me. And I said, but I really want to be able to just say whatever I want, no filter, like be vulnerable, not care. And as I was talking to her, I was like, I don't know why. I mean, I don't really have the kind of challenges that I did before all my healing work. So I don't really have bad days. I'm being honest with you guys. I really don't have bad days. I don't really have breakdowns. I don't really have, dark, depressing days. I don't have that kind of stuff at all. It's been a really, really long time. I'm being really honest with you guys. I'm not putting it out there just to make you think that my life is perfect or I'm like, this perfect person. I'm not. I've just done so much work that I don't have, days where I'm curled up in a ball and like, oh my God, this person betrayed me or hurt my feelings. It's just, it doesn't happen that way. There are sometimes situations that I think about and I have to work on it. I know it, but I'm working on it. I'm actively working on things if it presents a challenge, but it never feels like it's too big for me to solve. And it might need me to do a couple of different, healing sessions at night for myself. But I really don't have those days where I lose confidence or self-doubt. I don't have self-doubt. I don't have just like days where I'm like, feeling just like crap. Doesn't happen because of all the work I've been doing or done. But I do have many stories from my past that will show you my vulnerabilities. And I don't feel comfortable sharing them all on social media. And I realize it's because, when I was in college, so I was 16 when I went to college in the US. and I was in college for 4 years, and then I spent 2 years in New York City after that, there were so many really, really painful moments where I felt judged. I lost friends because they thought I was uncool about something, or they blamed me for something that I did or didn't do. I got canceled by friends. I had, someone I was really close to date somebody that she knew liked me, and I kind of liked him, and I had betrayals. And, I had guys who I liked who thought I was a stalker. And I had all kinds of, experiences where I didn't feel good about myself. And I really curled up in a ball and cried my tears out and had deep, dark days and felt like I was just nothing. And, I had thoughts of I don't want to live. I've had all of those horrible moments, which is why I can relate to every one of my clients, because I've had my share of them. And I realized that I have so many memories of being in college. I mean, college was the best time of my life. Don't get me wrong. But there was also a lot of ups and downs. There was roller coaster rides during my dating 20s, people who betrayed me or people who really hurt me. And it's I'm not afraid of judgment today or being canceled or any of that, because I'm so I love myself so much. But I have those memories that I haven't really maybe made complete peace with it, or I haven't let it go completely. And that is what is holding me back from wanting to do social media. That's why, I'll start social media and I'll stop, and then I'll start and I'll stop. I haven't been consistent because I realize when I'm just talking to this friend, fellow mastermind colleague, that all of this started to come up. And I was like, oh my God, Karen, I need to do work on this. So that night I went and I cleared it. And the next day I got somebody booked a session on my calendar, and she saw an old YouTube video of mine where I'm talking about love and relationships. I don't know how she found it. She said it kept popping up on her feed, and I don't do any ads on YouTube, nothing like that. But she had been through a really bad breakup, and it was a series of just really bad love experiences. And she told the universe, she sat down and she said, you know what, Creator, universe, send me somebody who can help me. I'm tired of this. I just don't want to do this anymore. Send me somebody. And then she goes to her YouTube, and my video pops up, and then it pops up again, and it pops up again. So the algorithm kept feeding her my video. So she books a call, and we have the most amazing conversation for 20 to 30 minutes. And I was so vulnerable. I was like, oh my God, I've been through this. And, and it just felt more natural and easier. And she's like, I want to work with you. I don't care what it costs. I know you're going to be the one to help me. And that's it. In 20 minutes, she watched just one video. She was like, I know you're going to be the one who can help me. And it was so interesting because it came after the one night. That's it. It was one night that I worked on this, and the next day this happened. Not only that, 2 or 3 other things happened that were connected to me not still having some memories of being judged. And it's it opened up all these things for me. So I know that was a really long story, but what I want to tell you is just intend on what you want to clear. And then the right person to say the right thing in a random conversation will come, which will tell you, this is what I need to get help on, and this is what I need to work on. If you're a healer, you'll work on it right away, like I did. And if you're not, I'm going to, in the next section, suggest what you can do about that. All right. But the goal is become aware, set the intention, write it down. Go ahead.
Anaya, you're on mute.
Oops, thank you. Sorry. I was saying that I got so caught up in my story that I didn't finish the 2 slides I wanted to cover. So this section is really working on the inner work. So what are the things that you need to work on? Because if you want to have healthy relationships outside of you, you have to clear what's within you that's blocking the path, right? So what do you commit to doing in 2025? Is it journaling? Is it more mindfulness? Is it yoga? Is it meditation? Don't pick too many things. Just focus on 1 or 2 things that is achievable, sustainable, and then add on things as you master each practice. Okay? And then the second question is, any specific areas where you feel you need additional support or guidance in 2025? Do you need a coach? Do you need theta healing sessions? You know, if you had a lot of stuff in the toxic relationship section, that should tell you that you should probably work with, I recommend a theta healer to clear this. So if you relate to my story of judgment or like being canceled or any of those things, and you know, even like 10 years ago or 20 years ago, and you still have those memories, right? It's holding you back. If you remember it, it's holding you back. Okay. If you can connect to it and feel those emotions, it's holding you back. Anything that causes pain is holding you back. It's preventing you and keeping you safe from more pain, but it's also holding you back from your potential, right? So book a coach, book some sessions, go for some workshops. Maybe it's spending more time, you know, developing your spirituality. Do you need to go to the church more? Do you need to meditate more? Do you need to find someone who can teach you something, right? So in this section, just answer those 2 questions. And also note any patterns you want to change or reverse. Go ahead. All right. Well done, you guys. Reflecting on your relationships is a really powerful process. And it allows you to be more intentional about who you want to surround yourself with. A lot of business luminaries say, you know, who you surround yourself with is almost the biggest factor on your success, biggest influence on your success. So you want to be around people who are going to like lift you up, who are going to teach you things, who are going to inspire you. And you want to maybe let go of people who are bringing you down or who don't always have your best interests in mind. Okay. So release the toxic ones, invite the ones that will be your biggest cheerleaders. And that will allow you to have more harmony in your life. Sometimes, you know, you can love people from a distance. And that's a concept I know sometimes that's hard for people, is we think we need to surround ourselves by people who we should, even though they cause us pain. But sometimes you can love people from a distance, and that's okay. Okay. And usually I find they close the gap. The people that you love from a distance, all right, it actually gives them space to sometimes even evolve themselves, and they come back. Okay. They close the gap. All right. Moving on. We're in the fourth section, the 3 Ps, passion, purpose, and prosperity. Just a heads up on time, you guys. I think I'm going to end up using the entire 3 hours. So we've got about 40 minutes left. All right. Passion, purpose, prosperity. This is about show me the money or the job or the path. Okay. So purpose with lots of passion. So what activities bring you joy, make you happy? What do you love doing? That makes you want to wake up in the morning and do it again, right? So take a moment to write down the things that excite you. They make you feel like, you're really alive. These are the things that you are passionate about. So we want to identify what you love to do, even if it's something that you don't think is a career, or you don't think it's something that can earn you money. Just put down what you love to do. What sparks your interest? Then I want you to check if your current career has these things. The things you love to do, are they things you can do in your work life, in your career? And if not, what action steps do you need to take to bridge the gap so you can have more purpose in your professional life? The question really is, are you doing what you love? And are you loving what you're doing? So I do see the direction of the world is really about doing work and play as if it's the same thing, where work is play and play is work. Although play is work doesn't sound as nice, but work is play. Like you're having fun, you're enjoying, you're loving what you're doing. And if that's not how work feels like for you, then first of all, you're not alone, because most people don't necessarily love what they do. But this is the opportunity to ask the questions. Okay? Ask the questions, because you won't get answers if you don't ask questions, you guys. And I'm not saying you'll get all the answers right now, but ask the questions and let the universe bring you some answers, right? And then the third question in this series is prosperity. Are you currently earning the amount of money you desire? Are you reaching your financial goals? And if you're not, where do you want to be financially? What's your target income for 2025? And don't be afraid to give it a big number. Don't be afraid. It was really funny. Some years ago, I put down this kind of crazy number I did a wealth consciousness class. It's a theta healing class. And I put some crazy number in the millions of dollars for my financial goal. And at that time, I was like, I don't even know how I could make that much money because, with the work I do and the life I live, I can't imagine how you would get there, right? And these holidays, couple of things happened that made me see how easy it is to get to that number. It's not that difficult. And I could see the path to get there in a very short amount of time. And I set myself the goal that I'm going to have that in my portfolio. Okay. So something that may feel really crazy at one point, you'll actually get to a point where you're like, oh, it's not that crazy. And I can't tell you how many times I set goals and I'm like, I should have just set higher goals. Why did I, undervalue myself? Okay. So brainstorm creative ways to increase your income, attract more abundance, and reach financial goals. Go ahead and take a few minutes for that. If you've just entered the workshop, there's a worksheet in the chat that you can download. And we're just answering some questions on the worksheet. I just want to share something I put in the chat. Set your goals, whatever that number is, whatever that goal is, and then reverse engineer. That means brainstorm what is it that you need to do to reach that number, to reach that goal. And then there's only one thing that would stand in the way of reaching there, and that's mindset. So clearing your mental blocks, clearing your beliefs about what you can or cannot achieve. That's really the only work you need to do. Okay? Just another minute and we'll move on. All right, you guys. Okay, this one, I feel like you might need a little bit of more space and time to brainstorm. So I do recommend coming back to this one. But hey, you guys are superstars. Okay. I made a couple of comments in the chat about, how AI is going to change a lot of things for a lot of us. A lot of things that people don't like to do can be automated. And that's going to change the nature of our jobs. So I do invite you all to start thinking about, what do you really love to do? Because there is going to be an opportunity, whether you willingly or you get forced to, have to make some changes in your career direction with what's going on in the world with AI. All right. Okay, moving on to spread your wings, section 5. This is really about personal growth. This is about identifying, what are the areas that you feel stuck or blocked? Where do you need to spread your wings? Okay. So this section is about taking that time to just really reflect and set some intentions for personal growth this year. And I have a couple of questions just to get you thinking about this. What would you like to grow in your life? What would you like to develop or grow? What are your personal growth goals and aspirations? So last year, my goal was to become a speaker, a paid speaker. I've been doing speaking for 15 years, but never in a formal way where I get invited to present and, I get flown to a country and taken care of as a speaker. I'd never really done that before for anything high profile, just maybe smaller ones. But as a result, what I did is I enrolled in a speaking. Actually, I didn't even enroll. What happened is I'm in a business mastermind, and we got a free bonus speaking course by one of the most successful speakers in the world, Lisa Nichols. And so I pretty much I had to pay a very little nominal, small amount, but I got to take her 2-3 month speaking course. And then there was another opportunity to fine tune something else I was doing. So I had a session with someone who was helping me with my body language. And I created a speaker kit. And basically, because it was my goal, I took a couple of action steps. And when the opportunity came, I took it. And last October, I was booked by the Banyan Tree Hotels. So it's a Thai chain of hotels, very high end. And they were opening a hotel in Dubai. And it was their 30th year anniversary and the launch of their Dubai hotel. And so I got booked. They flew me to Dubai. I stayed in their beautiful hotel room. They flew me business class. It was first class treatment there. And I spent 4 days at their wellness retreat, and I was a speaker there. And it opened up a lot of opportunities for me. And it was so much fun. I met amazing people, and I became a paid speaker. That put me on the map for speaking. And it was a very prestigious opportunity for me, something I had never, had. And it started with me saying, that's what I want to work on this year. Okay. And since then, I started getting other speaker bookings. So I'm traveling to Thailand in March for 100-person event. And there's more opportunities coming from there. So take the time to decide what you want. Yeah, if anyone's heard Lisa Nichols speak, and by the way, after I did the course with her, I had a chance to watch her live at the Mind Valley Future event that I attended last week. And then she's really good friends with some of my friends. And so literally I was at the same event with her, and we were around the same people, and it was just a dream come true. So, and it started really with just me saying, this is what I want to focus on. This is what I want to do. Okay, next question. Are there specific skills you want to develop or improve? Again, mine was developing my ability to speak, to be a better speaker, to be clearer, I got a chance to speak at a summit last September as well, just because I put speaker in my goal and then I saw an opportunity and I reached out. An opportunity I normally wouldn't have taken, because I'm like shy like that. I don't like to reach out to people. I actually am shy, but I did it because, that was my goal. What knowledge or subjects do you want to explore or master in 2025? Because learning is lifelong. It's an adventure. So what do you want to learn? I put a goal for my entire team, for my Sanaya personal brand, and it was like, we need to learn how to use AI in everything we do. So what did I do? I created a chat for all my team members. And I'm like, anytime you learn something new in AI or you see something on Instagram, post it here. And so the year has started and I've already I integrated ChatGPT into my Excel spreadsheet, my Google Excel spreadsheet, something new that I'd never done. I learned how to create custom ChatGPTs, which I was afraid of. It looked too complicated. And then I said, you know what? AI is your goal to learn and master. You're going to do it. I sat down. It took me like a couple of minutes. And I'm like, oh, sometimes we build up things to be so difficult, but they're not. So you just need to set the intention. Okay. And why do I want to master AI? So I can simplify my life, work less, become more efficient, and spend more time with my family. Okay. So sometimes when you put a why behind that too, it really powers up the intention. And finally, choose a word that represents your focus or your theme for this year. Last year, my theme was actually connection, and I'm bringing it back again because I want to do connection, but in a much deeper level. All right. I want connection with collaboration. I want connection with network. So I've kind of taken connection to the next level for me. And because of that, by the way, anyone who's been messaging me, like I just went to this Mind Valley event and I have all these new people I've met and they've been reaching out and I'm like, you know what? Okay, let's jump on a call. Here's my meeting link. Like I'm much more outgoing than I normally am. And I'm reaching out. I'm connecting. I respond right away because it's a priority. I've told myself connection is first. So what's the word that's going to inspire you and move you and direct you in your life? And finally, I want you to end the series of questions with, what is the upgraded version of yourself this year? If you achieve all these goals you're setting for yourself, what would that version of you look like, feel like? How would you feel? Okay, what would change? So go ahead and spend a couple of maybe 5 minutes or a little less on these questions. right. Wrapping this section up. So, all right, you guys, are you ready to fly? You've got personal growth skills, you've got skills building goals, learning aspirations, and now your guiding word for 2025. You see how the picture's all coming together? And I bet you your word for 2025 is connected to a lot of the things you were writing in your worksheet, right? So your journey to personal growth is taken off now. Are you ready to spread your wings and to go even higher? Give me a love emoji or a thumbs up if you're ready. Beautiful. I like the high tens, the hearts. Love it, love it, love it. All right, you guys. Okay, so here's what we're going to do now, okay? You are going to work on putting this all together. You've done each of the pieces, and now we're going to put it all together in your 2025 playbook. All right? So you're going to compile everything you've done, and then you're going to put down actionable steps, things that you can do right now to get there, to get started into everything you have intended or set as goals, right? So you're going to go back to every section and write down your action steps. So for example, the self-reflection part 1, what are the things that you need to do there? Then self-care vision. Well, what's the self-care practice, the morning and bedtime ritual, the health goals you've set? Relationship edit. What are the steps you need to take for your positive connections versus the toxic ones? And then for the passion, prosperity, and purpose, what are your career goals, financial goals, and what are the strategies you want to focus on? Spread your wings. What are your personal growth goals? What skill do you want to build? What do you want to learn? What's your word? And I want you to put it all together in the part of the worksheet that says bring your vision to life. Okay. So I'm going to show this to you on the worksheet. So you should be here. All right. Your 2025 playbook. All right. And in these sections, you summarize everything. Something might not be working. Sorry, if you can just check. I think spread your wings. I can't write into it. Just check on your worksheet. Okay. But basically, you're going to put all the details in here. And then the date and the signature. Oh, we're not going to do commitment statement yet. Forgive me. We're just doing this section, which is your 2025 playbook. All right. So what we're doing here is action steps. So if you remember, you answered all these questions, and now what do you need to do for each of these sections? So for example, if your self-care vision, so here, your checkup reminders, or you want to do some kind of a test, or you want to start a new workout, then you put it here. Set up an appointment for blah, blah, blah test. This is action steps. What do you need to do? Book a free trial class. Maybe passion, purpose, prosperity. Reach the goal, brainstorm what I need to do to reach the financial goal, or I want to learn this skill. So put action steps on what you're going to do. And again, this is something you will continue to do probably a little bit later as well. But do the best you can with the time we have. And then your word goes here and any other comments or notes. Okay, it looks like the spread your wings section should work. Yeah, so focus on action steps. Now, as you're doing this section, I want to just get some permission. I want to request your permission for me to just share some of the different things that we do at the Third Eye Wellness and also in my own business to support you with some of these things. These are just some ideas that you could use to work into your plan for 2025. And I just want to share a little bit about that. Is that okay with everyone? Give me a yes, heart, thumbs up if we're okay. Yeah? Okay, beautiful. Thank you so much. All right, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to tell you about a couple of different things that we do that I also apply in order for me to kind of make sure nothing is going to get in my way of my own 2025 vision. So if you found there were any things like doubts, fears, oh, I can't get there, I can't reach this goal, or this relationship is holding me back. If you found problem areas in your life that you want to kind of work on this year, especially, then I do invite you to try out a theta healing session if you haven't already. If you're a theta healer, then this is a reminder to you that everything that came up as a block, a fear, a negative in today's work is what I would like you to work on in your own theta healing digging practice. But if you aren't a theta healer and you would like some support, or if you're a new theta healer and want some support, then I can highly recommend theta healing sessions. At Third Eye Wellness, we have Maisha, who's my cousin. We have Nana, we have Zos, so we have a couple of different healers. And of course, I'm a theta healer myself, and you are welcome to come to us. Anytime you feel stuck or you feel like there's some mindset work that you need to do or some emotions you need to release, some forgiveness. So ultimately, whatever's getting in your way, this is what we do. We help you release that. And you'll probably find that there's more things in the first section, reflect and reimagine, from last year that you might want to just clear, let go, and forgive. So that's kind of the solution I'm suggesting. For section 2, which is your self-care vision, I would say the key is scheduling and planning. Okay. You can also train AI. So ChatGPT has a function now where it can act as your virtual assistant and it can remind you of appointments, or it can also suggest how you can plan your calendar. So you can kind of search some of those different ideas of how to use ChatGPT or AI to help you to be more efficient or more, productive in your daily life. But the key to getting that self-care vision done is very simple. Put it in your calendar. Even if it's an appointment 3 months later, put it in your calendar. Just start scheduling. If you don't have a calendar, I highly recommend this is the year you get yourself on a digital calendar that you can sync to your phone. I don't do anything without my calendar. That's how I'm so productive in a day. So definitely get on a calendar. All right. I use Google Calendar and it's on my phone as well. Another thing for self-care vision is I created a very short course. It's like 15, 20 minutes long. It's called Instant Calm. It's $7. So it's super, super it's like 2 cups of coffee. But in Philippine pesos, it's about 400 pesos, couple of hundred pesos. But it's a short course and I teach you a technique called emotional empowerment technique. All right. So I call the program Instant Calm, and it gives you really quick fixes for your emotions, like how to let go when you feel really upset or angry about stuff. It's completely online and it's a program you just buy and you do it on your own and you get to keep it. All right. So this is something that if you feel you need just some extra support to regulate your emotions, to stay calm, not to lose your temper, I do invite you to check out Instant Calm, which is just I think it's 15, 20 minutes, and it's got worksheets, and it's like me teaching you how to do this technique. Then we also have Self-Love Power. This is a program that I beta tested last year with 20 people, 20 of my students, and it was amazing. I've opened it up now for one-on-one, where I take you through the 7 levels of self-love, and I teach you different techniques, and I will also do some one-on-one coaching and healing to help you master the 7 levels of self-love. What happens at the end of the program is you become like my rock star students. You've probably seen some things they're dropping in the chat, which are so just like, you can tell this person really loves themselves. So that's a program that I'm doing one-on-one coaching. And I will also start a group program for this year. Okay, probably looking at May. So if you're interested in joining as a group, I will have a May launch. If you are stuck on an ex, either a friend or a partner or, you know, a relationship from the past, and you can't move on, you're stuck there, right? Then you might want to do this mini course that I created. It's called Relationship Detox, where I take you through 5 steps to ditch the past and embrace the future. You get worksheets. I have training videos. It's pretty cool. You go through like a certain ritual and so on just to kind of let go. And I've had like a couple of hundred people, I know over 300 who've been through this program and just really felt the difference. So that's really good for relationship edit, right? If you have any toxic relationships you want to get rid of. Then, of course, you've got my Soulmate Magnet program, which has been super something I'm proud of. You know, this December, I was in Dubai. One of my Soulmate Magnet clients got engaged, and the engagement was in Dubai. They live in London, but they had their engagement in Dubai. So I went to their engagement and I partied all night with their guests. And it was such a proud moment for me because I saw my client, who I've been working with, finally like be with like the love of her life. And by the way, for those of you who don't know what Soulmate Magnet is, if you're a single woman, you're tired of being in the wrong relationship or not finding anyone at all, you want to find your soulmate, then I have a program. It's an 8-week long Soulmate Magnet group coaching program where you're going to go through my 3-step process. I call it the magnetized method to become the kind of woman who can manifest her soulmate. So I run it 2 ways. It's either one-on-one VIP coaching so it's like concierge coaching. I work with you one-on-one. And if we do one-on-one, it's like a 3-month program, or I do it as a group program. And I'm expecting to launch this in March this year for the first one for this year. I've done this many times now, but there's also a group version of the program. So I was telling you about the girl who I went to her engagement. That was like around Christmas time. Then on New Year's Day, one of my other Soulmate Magnet clients, her boyfriend of like couple of months proposed, right? And then I came back and started my sessions with my clients again. So my other Soulmate Magnet client, we were on our one of the, not the last session, but the session before the last. And she's like, Sanaya, I met him. I met the person I'm going to be with for the rest of my life. So in a span of 2 weeks, you guys, 3 of my Soulmate Magnet clients who I've been working with, either got engaged, got proposed to, or they found the person they're going to be with. And they're all incredibly happy. So I'm seeing a lot of my Soulmate Magnet students and clients telling me oh, wow, all these amazing developments. So this is a program this is my signature program, Soulmate Magnet. And it's, a really great chance if you are single and you want to find the right person. So I have put a link on the slide. It's relationshipclaritycall.com. So you can just book a call and I can tell you a little bit more about the program. I have another virtual program called Conscious Communication Blueprint. This is if you are in a relationship and there's a lot of stress and conflict and you just can't communicate with your partner. Okay, so it's just also a virtual program. You do it on your own. The fee is very minimal. So it's $47, I think, for this program, about 2,000 something pesos. I don't know it in other currencies, but this is a really great program if you want to figure out how to communicate better. And this will also work if you want to communicate better at work, or with your parents, your family members, your siblings, your friends. It's basically something that I teach you a specific technique of getting what you want across to people in a way that brings you closer together instead of further apart. So it's just a quick, something you do online. And then the final program I wanted to share with you is if you're kind of I don't know where I'm going with my career, or I'm doing something I don't love. So this is the section of passion, purpose, and prosperity. I do have a 6-month coaching program called Love with Purpose. And either you are like someone who wants to start a healing or coaching business, or you're someone who wants to like start a new job, career, or life project, then this is the program for you. I've worked with 5 amazing women last year on this program. I tested the program and then I launched it officially last year. And I'm helping these 5 different women start their coaching businesses. And one of the women is also starting a music business and also another business where she's teaching her own healing method to people. So I've developed like all these different tools for them and to really help them to get to that goal. And each session, like I give them pre-work and post-work to do. So it's been a really, really great program for my clients so far. So this is called Love with Purpose. It means like you're doing your purpose from a place of love. All right. So to find out more, you can just book a call. And of course, if you need help with life coaching, I can be your accountability partner, your personal cheerleader, and expert all in one. So if that's something you would also like some support on, I can help you with that. All right. And finally, at the beginning of the year, I launched something called the Manifestation Activation Session. It's a 90-minute session that you can book. So if you want, you could actually do this with the roadmap, or you could do this with any other goals where it's like, Sanaya, this is what I want. And then I'll spend 90 minutes digging to find what are all the blocks that are getting in your way. We'll clean up all the blocks, and then I will take you through a powerful manifestation. So it's kind of like a good way to manifest your entire year in one 90-minute session. So if you want, you could bring the roadmap to me and be like, this is what I want. Can you help me clear up all the blocks? So then this is a single session that might really help. All right. So that's it. I just wanted to share that this is what I have. You don't have to get any of these, but if you do want it, it's there. If you do feel that you want to come work with me and I can help you, then please book, please find out more. And if you feel like you have other people you work with, or you can do this on your own because you're a healer, then you have my full support and my full positive energy to make sure you get there. It doesn't matter how you get there. What matters is you get there, right? So whether it's me helping you or someone else helping you, the point is, make sure you get there. That's all I want for you. Because it kind of looks good for me too, right? That you came to my self-love roadmap and all your goals got achieved at the end of the year. Like that looks good on me too. Right? And I do know that I've had amazing mentors, coaches, and healers that have helped me to get to where I am. Right? And I wouldn't be here if I didn't take their help. So in the same way, do not feel embarrassed, or do not feel like, like it might not work, because when you have people helping you, you will move forward. All right. So if it's a question of, I don't believe in myself, will it work? It always works when you take a step. All right. So just take a step, whichever way it is, grab a friend to help you, get an accountability partner within your own group of inner circle, whatever it is, but get help, get support, and keep moving. All right, you guys. Okay. So, I am now coming to the end. I'm actually going to skip Q&A because I've been answering all the questions in the chat. I will stick around for a couple of minutes after, but this is the time that I want you to do your commitment statement. It's the last page. And I want you to just, hold on, let me show it to you. I want you to just read this. I dedicate myself to making 2025 a year of limitless possibilities, boundless growth, and unwavering self-love. I believe in my power to shape my destiny and create the life I desire. Read it to yourself with your full heart, date it, sign it, and it's done. You're committing to this. Okay? That's the last step before we do our meditation. Oh, I get some great love on the chat. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you, Mina. Mina says, excited for another program you might have this year. Self-Love Power and Soulmate Magnet has been life-changing for me in the best ways possible. So, so grateful you have these programs to help us achieve the highest version of yourself. Thank you, Mina. Love that comment. And then we've got, a couple of people saying how they found me. And Ria says, I got to donate blood for the first time because of this workshop last year. I'm so happy. Wow. Yay. All right, you guys, you should have your commitment statements done because we're getting to the very last step. The meditation, where we put this all together. All right, you guys. Are you ready? Okay. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to ask Sari to help me with the music. And then I'm going to be speaking over the mic and walking you through a future self vision. You at the end of 2025, having completed all your goals. All right. So all I want you to do is hold in your mind all the different things you want for yourself this year. Okay. And then I will walk you through it. And that's the end of today's workshop, is this one meditation. And I apologize, I went over. I get excited about my stories, you guys. And sometimes I lose track of time. Please forgive me. I know you're hungry, but a couple of more minutes and then we wrap up, all right? So sorry if you can get the music on. Thank you. Can you guys hear me over the music? Beautiful. All right, you guys, I want you to get comfortable. Clear your space. Seat yourself comfortably. And start to relax, focusing on your breath. Breathing in, breathing out. Continuing to focus on your breath. Thanking yourself for all the work you did, for all the dreams you started to dream, for all the goals you set. And your brain, your wonderful brain, is thanking you because you have given it work to do, and that's what your brain likes to do. It likes to have stuff to do to keep it busy. And we might as well give our brain stuff to do that we want it to do, right? So thank your brain for supporting you, your body, which in its best of health is your ideal and perfect companion, helping you reach whatever dreams and vision you have for yourself. Give yourself some love. Remind yourself of how important you are, how amazing you are, how beautiful you are, and how worth it you are. You are worth it. I am worth it. And I deserve this. Everything I could possibly want, I deserve. I am worthy and deserving of it. And anyone who told me otherwise, that was about them and not me. I know who I am. I know what I deserve. And I know the Creator wants me to have everything. And tell yourself, I love you. I love you. I love you so much. And feel that, the sense of love in your heart. And it might bring tears into your eyes. It brings tears into mine every time. Okay? And connect with yourself. In this world, it's only you. You are the most important person. Everything starts and ends with you. Now I want you to think of everything that you wrote down in your worksheet today. All the thoughts, all the ideas, the goals. And I want you to imagine standing in front of you in a distance is a version of you who's already achieved all of this. That part of you, that version of you, who achieved every single goal you've set for this year. She released all the mess of 2024, all the broken dreams, anything that was holding you back. She's released it. We let it all go. She overcame challenges and learned powerful lessons. She released old patterns and habits that were holding her back. And she found happiness and joy. She let go of burdens of people that were not really allowing her to move forward. She forgave, she released, she moved on with strength and courage. And she developed so many amazing strengths over the year. She focused on self-care. She started her day with morning rituals and ended with bedtime rituals. She completed every day feeling like a winner, feeling like she accomplished everything she wanted and had enough time for herself. She did it all. Every day was a perfect day. And there were, some little obstacles here and there, but she got through them. She achieved her health goals, her exercise routine. She did her checkups and other treatments she wanted to do. She stayed relaxed, calm, and found the right people to support her. She's surrounded by people who love her, who are cheering her on, who are there for her. And she's doing what she loves every day. Every day feels so joyful, like she's waking up to the life she had always wished for. And she's passionate every day. She's been so passionate this year. 2025 was a great year for her. She learned so many new things and developed new skills and really focused on personal growth. I mean, she is the best version she could be right here, right now. She outdid herself. This version 2.5, this amazing future version of yourself, who did everything her heart wanted and more. Look at her. Isn't she just so wonderful? So beautiful. So incredible. She has everything that you could have wanted for yourself for this year. And now, I want you to walk towards her. With confidence, with purpose, with intention, one step at a time. Until you are standing right in front of her. It might be a couple steps, it might be a lot of steps, it doesn't matter. You are here, standing in front of her, your future self, the version of you who accomplished her self-care roadmap for 2025. It is December 31, 2025. And you are staring at her, the most fulfilled, beautiful, accomplished version of yourself. And now you step into her. All your energy steps into hers until you are one. You are her and she is you. With so much love, so much gratitude, so much joy. You did it. did everything you wanted to. And you now know you can. You have that confidence. Of course I can do it. I've done it. I got there where I wanted to be. And I am so proud of myself. Tell yourself you did great. You are really, truly magnificent. And I am so proud of you. And feel the love. Feel the sense of peace, calm, achievement, growth. Just so proud of your growth. So proud of every challenge you overcame, every obstacle, and you kept going with so much courage. And thank you to the universe. Thank you to the creator, God, source, whatever you believe in. Thank you for the support. Thank you for the times where I maybe felt a little lost or I stumbled or I faltered, but you were there and you held me up and you kept me going. Thank you. Thank you for this beautiful moment and this opportunity. And thank you for my life, my body, my mind, my companions on this journey. And thank you to everyone who is sharing this with me, supporting me. I love you. And just be in this moment. Accepting, loving, being. And now, very gently, very slowly, as the music fades out, start coming back. With gratitude and love. Come back to me now. And drop into the chat how you feel and how this was. On this note, you guys, thank you for being here with me today, for joining me in Self-Love Roadmap 2025, where we activated your vision. Okay. Thank you too. This is all you. You guys came here with your energy and focused on yourself. I thank you too, and I acknowledge you for doing this. I will be sending the replay to all of you who have registered and attended, so you can go back to some of these sections. I know that the format doesn't allow us to spend as much time as you might have needed for every section, but you can go back to it and continue to work on it. All right. So thank you once again. If you have any questions, I'm right here for a couple of minutes, but I do want you to also kind of just let this all sink in and settle. And I wish you the most wonderful 2025. And thank you. I, also appreciate everyone who's dropping comments in the chat. I love this. I really want your testimonials. So if you can share how it was, I do appreciate that too. Oh, I got some amazing comments. Look at this, you guys. That was really moving. Thank you, Sanaya. That was amazing. Really good start to 2025. I feel so aligned with how I want this year to play out. It was absolutely awesome. So relaxing, peaceful, beautiful. That was so good. Beautiful. I love it. Meditation is so touching and inspirational. Yeah, it just came from my heart. All right, you guys, can we turn on our cameras? Do a quick picture so I can show all my socials that I've committed to go on. I want to show people we did this together and this beautiful space we've created. So turn on your cameras. Let's do a quick picture and then you are free to go. All right, you guys, big smile. You guys all look beautiful. After a meditation, everyone looks beautiful. I know some of you are fixing your hair. You know, you all look bright and glowing. So one more time, big smile. Okay, hold on. Okay, we got a couple of pages. Keep smiling. All right, you guys, have a good Sunday. Thank you for joining me. Love you guys.